If you have an HR54 DVR and a 4K client, you might want to have them both in the same room. Why? Because the HR54 can work a little faster and it offers picture-in-picture, and you might only want to use the C61K when you're using 4K. The trick is programming one remote to do both things. You might have noticed that if you go to the menu and scroll down and go into remote setup, that it's impossible to do, or so you think. Let's take a look. If I press menu and scroll down all the way through the new Genie menus, I'll eventually get down to settings. From there, I can arrow over to remote control. But when I press remote control, this is what I see. I no longer see the advanced settings menu that I used to see with the old UI. And this is a problem because that's how you would go to set two different remote codes, one for the HR54 and one for the C61K. Luckily, there's a solution. This is the old style remote that came with all DirecTV receivers before Genie. You might still have one in the closet, and if you don't, you can pick one up at Solid Signal, or if you're going to use it only once, pick one up at a local thrift store or ask a friend who might still have one. The key is it's got to be this old style white remote or any remote that works with infrared. It doesn't have to be a DirecTV remote, but it has to work with infrared. The key to the whole process is that you must turn the receiver completely off and put the Genie remote down. Only use the infrared remote when you're doing this programming step. Don't touch the Genie remote at all. It's very important that the receiver starts up and that you continue to use the infrared remote. Starting with the infrared remote gives you a completely different experience. Sure, it starts the same, it looks the same, you're going through the menus and you're scrolling over and you're going to get over to remote control. But once you get to remote control, it looks different. IR/RF setup is grayed out, and now you have the advanced setups menu, which is exactly what you needed. Select it, and then of course you're going to have to click through and press the dash button because it wants to know that you're really serious. And finally, you get to the point where you can really program the remotes. You have 8 options, just like you always have. You can set it to any of 8 different codes, and it will walk you through how to do that with the traditional DirecTV remote. If you're doing it with the regular universal remote, well, you're kind of on your own there. Using this technique, you can program any universal remote, including the old DirecTV remote, to control multiple receivers in the same room, and you won't have to worry about covering one of them up with aluminum foil or something like that, or putting your hand in front of the infrared window. Nobody really wants to do that. It's super simple, and now you know how to do it.